Hey everybody, and welcome back to Set the Pipe, another episode. I'm Sully with my other co-host. There's CK, and then there's Bear.
Hey.
How's it going, fellas?
How we doing?
Good.
So good to be back.
And
what a guest we got here. This is exciting for a lot of reasons. I think it's going to be such a fun pod to talk about it. So go ahead, Sully.
that's right. So we have today Dylan McGee. Dylan, welcome to Set the Pipe.
Thanks for having me, guys. Excited to be here.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty little twist on our normal guest, but we think it's super important that we get to know Dylan a little bit and his background and what he's doing today, and it's a little bit different twist. I mean, he's not a Division I player, he's not a Division III player, right? But we're going to get into that. So, Dylan, you get to sit back and kind of listen to your bio a little bit, which I'm sure you don't get to listen to very often, and we can go on from there. So we have Dylan McGee as a standout varsity boys volleyball player at Del Norte High in San Diego. He played as a setter, and he was a three-time varsity athlete and a three-time all-league player. Today, he is a manager at the University of Oregon's women's team, as well as on the men's club team out at University of Oregon. We're going to get into why he made that choice, as well as any of his background. And if McGee sounds remotely familiar to our fans on a different podcast, you are correct. We'll get into that as well. So your stats in 2023, when you were in high school, you played 116 sets, averaged almost 10 assists per set, totaled over 1,100 assists, ranking fourth nationally, third in California, and second in the San Diego section. You also achieved 40 serving aces, 174 digs, and 50 kills. Not too shabby at all. Dylan McGee, welcome to Set the Pipe. We're really excited to have you on, man.
Thanks, guys. I'm excited as well.
Cool.
Yeah, glad that. Don't forget, he's the all-time assist leader at Del Norte High School as well.
Oh, that's right. You are the all-time. That's right. So you had an outstanding high school career, and Coley and I talked about this a little bit before you came on. You did have options to go play in college, correct?
Yeah, I did.
Why the choice not to pursue that, and why choose to go to University of Oregon?
So for me, those were just my offers were really small schools out in the East. Like I had some offers in Illinois and just like these small kind of religious NAIA schools. And that wasn't really what I was looking for. I'm born and raised in San Diego, so kind of wanted to stay somewhat on the West Coast. And
Right.
I just love the volleyball culture here. So University of Oregon, I got in, and I liked the school. I liked the programs they had there, and I kind of just went in there just with an open mind, and wanted to see what the club scene was like. I had no real knowledge of what it was going to be like beforehand.
Were you planning to
Right.
play for sure when you went there, or was that something when you got there, you're like, okay, I want to find out what's going on, or I'm going to go to Oregon and look into club when you were there?
Yeah, so the summer before I went, I looked through Instagram and I saw that Oregon had a club volleyball Instagram, and I watched some of their clips. I just didn't know what the level was going to be like. Coming from San Diego, just Southern
Right.
California in general, it's pretty competitive.
It is.
So I thought, okay, it's a little more north. Maybe it's not going to be that great. And then I went up there and I was blown away. And everybody, just the culture was great. The guys were a lot of Southern California guys as well, San Clemente, just LA, all these kind of areas. And once I came to that first open gym we had the first week of school, I knew, I'm like, all right, this is it.
This is the
I'm gonna
place to be.
playing. So
So
yeah,
was it more like I wanted to be at a big football school, or was it major driven, or just you just wanted that huge college experience and didn't want to go to a smaller school? Like, what was the final? Well, actually, not even the final. What was the journey to get to you to that Oregon decision?
I'm surprised your dad didn't make you go to San Diego State. That's where I'm surprised. Like he didn't walk you down to school, make you enroll, and get you onto the
Yeah.
campus, because what a diehard Aztec fan he is. So
yeah. I mean, I grew up around it. I unfortunately didn't get in. I played for a hard major and I didn't get in. But I was in conversations with UC Santa Cruz to play D3 there.
Yeah.
But there was no guaranteed spot, so I kind of didn't want to risk it because they didn't really have my major. So I guess in that case, the major was a big part of my decision to go to Oregon.
Okay.
I also knew I wanted to be at a big school. I didn't really want to be at a small, just I went to a really small middle school and I liked it, but I wanted something different when I went to college. I definitely wanted a big community, just obviously football, sports. That's always been a
Yeah.
big thing for me. I love watching it just growing up, watching the Aztecs and, being a Laker fan my whole life. So I knew I wanted to be at a school with good sports and had a good reputation. So
What's your major?
I'm entrepreneurship.
Oh, no
Nice.
kidding. Hmm.
That's
We
awesome.
should actually
So,
bring up that School of
it,
Alan Knipe degree, by the way, since
I mean,
Dylan brought
I'll
it up.
tell
He
you,
doesn't know what
it'd
that is.
be fantastic. So, having you on here is fantastic for a lot of reasons for me. I've known you because I've known your uncle and your brother for quite a long time, and I think the last
Hmm.
time I saw you, we were surfing at your uncle's birthday down in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Um, but I think what's great about having you on here, and one of the big reasons we're being on here is to talk about club volleyball and club
Hmm.
volleyball at the collegiate level. There's over 1,200 teams that play in the high school level, and where does all those players go? Right? Like you love the game of volleyball. There's only a handful of Division 1 teams. There's multiple Division 3 teams, but as you mentioned, that's on the East Coast or the Northeast. And tell us
Hmm.
a little bit about your experience in club volleyball. And for the folks that don't know, I know, but let them know how many teams play club volleyball in this country for college sports.
Honestly, I was shocked at how many schools have club volleyball teams. When I went into my first nationals, it was like it was back in when I was playing club in San Diego for Coast and Wave. Like there's
Massive.
just everybody there.
Yeah.
You have everybody, Duke, Stanford, every big school and smaller schools as well are even getting into it. Um, and yeah, it's really a great culture. We practice 3 times a week for 2 hours, and then during the winter we travel pretty much every other weekend. So we're driving, 6+ hours on a
Hmm.
Saturday morning or a Friday morning to go play in, random places like we're going to Centralia, Washington, or Moscow, Idaho, like these random places I didn't even know existed. But
So
I've
when you
actually been to
everybody,
both of those places recently, which is
Moscow, yeah.
amazing. You actually threw Centralia, Washington, and Moscow,
yeah,
Idaho out
Moscow,
because.
right.
So
yeah,
when you get on those trips and you're leaving on a Saturday morning, you're
hmm
working right now also in the fall season as a manager for the women's team. Give me a story on playing in Moscow, Idaho, on a Saturday. And what time do you get home? Who's in the van? Who's driving those vans? And then
yeah.
how do you get to class? And how does it get back to go right into women's volleyball?
Yeah, so usually the women's team they'll let me go. I don't need to be there or anything. But yeah, this past year I was the vice president for our club team. So the president and the vice presidents are in charge of getting up and getting the vans. So we basically get two or three of these just big white vans, and we pack 10 guys in each. And we're having everybody get to our practice gym at I don't know, 6:30 in the morning, just to chug it up out there, stopping maybe once or twice for some food and gas. But it's not great quality vans, so a lot of them don't have AC or heat. So windows are down a lot of the time. You know how it goes. A lot of guys are, especially coming back, a lot of guys are super sweaty, gets hot and gross.
Stinky.
But
Stinky.
That's right.
it's all for the love of it. So
Well, this all sounds so
yeah,
familiar, boys. This sounds awfully familiar.
So
Just let
yeah,
you just
It
let you
it
know,
does.
Dylan,
It's
back in
funny.
the day,
Go ahead,
same
Sully.
thing. It's the same thing that we had to do as well. So
It's
yeah,
funny because when I was texting your dad and your uncle about it, that's a couple of things they said is it'll remind us three and hearing from you is some of the
mhm,
late 80s 90s volleyball is what some of what you guys are doing today in
yeah.
club is like that. I mean, I'm sure your uncle told him the story when we were freshmen and we drove to BYU, which is about 12 to 14 hours, and we stayed in a Motel 6. This is Division 1 college volleyball. We played the national championship a few years later, and we're driving in vans 12 and a half hours, staying in a Motel 6 for the week because it was cheaper than staying only for 2 or 3 days. So, yeah, we feel you a little bit. So, driving in
yeah,
a van, you're in charge. How does
yeah,
that go?
Hmm.
I mean, how is that going for the
yeah.
school, for you? Are there anything we should hear? Should you let us know now some stories that would just let some things off your chest
While you're
that
here.
we should know about?
Um, yeah, I think it's definitely a lot of responsibility because, I mean, I'm sure as you guys are aware, college boys are not the most responsible, I would
What?
say. And
Shut
so
it.
it is
You,
kind of stressful to, be the one in charge and, making sure they're not speeding, like getting tickets. We could get banned from going to our tournaments because the club in the past has had some issues
issues.
before I got there.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a big responsibility, but a lot of the guys, the main reason they all want to be there is to play. We all love the game. So when, we talk to them, we're like, all right, guys, if we get one more ticket, that's it for the year. Like that really just,
One more.
flips a switch for everybody, and everybody's on their best behavior for the time being. But yeah, it's a really great time, and it's great to be in a community where people just want to be there because they love the game. There's, we're completely self-funded. There's no help,
That's what I was just
so
about to
there's no
ask you.
coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no coach, there's no help with
He's
funding
gonna
or
have to start.
anything. I mean, we have the club sports office, but they just kind of help us with logistics. There's no monetary help there for the most part. So yeah, it's really just up to us.
So,
So
so Dylan, thanks again for coming on. And I
yeah.
do have a couple questions about that. I was going to ask about a
Mhm.
coach. Your practices, are they structured,
Mhm.
or you just kind of just play games? What's a typical season? You say you travel to these schools. Do you just play that school? You kind of mentioned there's tournaments. Is it like tournaments?
Mhm.
Do you have to qualify for nationals? Can
Mhm.
you just kind of walk us through a season? You say you practice 3 times a week, but how does it really work?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the year, we started with just some open gyms, just to kind of get guys in the gym, see, incoming freshmen, returners that, maybe haven't played in the past couple years, just to kind of get a sense of, who's really coming out this year. We started thinking about, okay, like where are we going to place guys? And then we'll have our
How many,
tryouts within the first
Dylan,
couple
real quick,
weeks.
how many numbers
Yeah,
are you looking at?
it's
How
about
many
12
numbers
per
come out?
team.
12 per team. How many
Well, that's how many
teams?
we'll take. Yeah, so
Oh,
the guys that come out will probably get around 30 to
oh,
40 maybe. It kind
okay.
of depends on the year.
Solid turnout. 30, 40
Yeah,
players. All right.
yeah, it's great. So yeah, we have that, and then we kind of just get straight into practices. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 to 6 for us. Um, so that's
Th-
always a lot of fun.
Does the school help you
And
with like the resources of the gym, the
Equipment.
balls? Is that a rec,
Nets.
or do you guys have to fund that too?
so we practice in our old basketball gym, MacArthur Court, that they used to use for basketball games. That's kind of where a lot of the club sports practice. So if you're not in season, then you don't get priority. So in the fall term, we're not in season, so we kind of have to, work our schedule around the other programs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the balls are on us. So we definitely don't want to lose those. We've had a couple instances coming back from nationals where they get left at the airport or wherever.
They're
So
not
I
cheap
think
either.
we've all
um,
seen that before too.
Weird.
yeah, but yeah, then that whole fall term, the vice presidents and the president, we kind of just plan out tournaments. We're in this league called PIVA, which is kind of a lot of the teams up in the north there. We'll have some Canadian teams. We'll have UW, us, Wazoo, you know, Eastern Washington, like just a lot of random schools that are up there, Portland
Mm-hmm.
State, colleges like that. And we'll all travel to these locations where they're hosting the PIVA tournaments. So like I mentioned, there's been some in Moscow and Centralia.
Yep.
Sometimes they're in Beaverton or just wherever they are. Um, so we'll typically go do those. That's kind of like our season. And then I think that they just changed it this past year for the NCVF, which is like the overarching collegiate club program um, for for the United States, and I think it's based on your record or just kind of your reputation a little bit. But pretty much everybody gets into nationals. There's a few teams that don't, that are maybe newer, or I'm not exactly sure on the requirements for that. But pretty much we'll see everybody there that we play during the year, and then we'll get to see a lot of schools from California, East Coast, just kind of everywhere. And that usually comes in our spring term. So we'll go on our spring break, and then we'll come back, and then we'll go to our nationals, which in this past year was in Phoenix, Arizona.
Mm.
And that was a lot of fun. In past years, it's been in Kansas City. And I think next year it's going to be in Kansas City again. But yeah, so it's great to have that kind of travel. To all those flights are also self-funded. There's no help there, so
Yeah.
it's the most expensive part of the year. And for that reason, we typically don't have a coach, just because first off, it's hard to find one that would be doing it for probably not a lot of pay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then it's on us. So a lot of the guys don't really want to be paying that. We already have to pay for our jerseys, and this past year we got slunks, like our custom slunks made. So there's a lot of costs that go into it, and gas and just flights, everything, food. It's just it adds up. So we do have to be conscious, and we do have to plan a lot. It takes a lot of time as a VP or a president to plan everything out and get the logistics down, and trying to choose the cheapest flights, which ends up being kind of brutal times. Usually we're getting up after 3 to 4 days of playing, and then we're getting up at 5:30 in the morning heading to the Phoenix airport, and a lot people are hungover, and
It kind of
miserable.
reminds me of Nationals,
That's
Chloe,
just
when
kind of
you
how
were
it
in charge
goes.
of flights.
It's a lot
I
of
was going to
fun.
bring up Bob Samuelson, but that's a whole nother story.
It's, I mean, it's so many ways of some of the things we did when we played at Nationals, to play at Nationals. And then obviously a lot of the things we did in the 90s playing at the collegiate level that, you're going through. I'm going to say this so you can go ahead and put this on a reel, but there's something that's getting me for men's club volleyball in Oregon. Like Nike, hey, Nike, you guys have a lot of money. You do a phenomenal job. Phil, it's Oregon. We're not asking you to sponsor club volleyball at Cal State Northridge. Come on, pony up a little dough. Let's help the boys out at Oregon. They're really working hard to be a great club program. It's such a great thing for so many around the country to continue playing volleyball after high school. It gives them an opportunity to be college students, to grow up in that realm, and also be able to still compete. So I'm just saying, Phil, Nike, throw a little bone to the men's club team up there at Oregon if you can.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. Hey, all the responsibilities you're talking about, Dylan, is right up your alley in terms of what you're studying, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it can't get any more clear to me. The grind, right? Budgeting and logistics and everything that you have to do as an entrepreneur, all wrapped into one as you're a second year in college. So your experience right now on the business side, right, and knowing what you have to do is going to be the same grind if you do something on your own. So I think it's a great match for you. I mean, would you agree with that?
100%. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Yeah. And how many universities out there have an entrepreneurship? I know it's growing, but you chose University of Oregon, so it's got to be pretty decent with Nike in the background. So it's a big metropolitan, right? So, do you know how big those programs are around the country?
I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, as you said, I definitely know it's growing.
Yeah.
And they have a great program in Oregon. So yeah, that was one of the reasons I went there. So
Yeah, man, your experience right now being a VP is going to lead you to great things, hopefully, when you're all said and done, because you're actually doing it. You're actually doing it. So,
Hey, Dylan.
Go ahead, Beardine.
Well, all right. Can we back up a little bit
Yeah.
and go back to when you were young? Okay. How did you get involved in volleyball? Where did it come from? Did it come from your dad? Did it come from your uncle? Or you just growing up in San Diego? How'd you get involved in it?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously my uncle was an announcer for the AVP tour, and
forever.
played in his time, and so did my dad. He was a big beach player as well. So
Okay.
kind of just grew up around it. Another thing, just living in San Diego, it's kind of a big thing, but I actually grew up playing basketball most of my life, and then I kind of made the pivot a little bit later. I started in 8th grade, really playing my first year of club. So I was a little later than uh, a lot of people, but
A lot of people in
um,
San Diego. I don't know about a lot of
yeah,
people, but a lot of people in San Diego.
yeah.
In
Sorry.
Southern
Yeah,
California,
San
yeah,
Diego.
that
Yeah,
grow
Southern
up by the
California,
beach that play volleyball. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so I kind of got into it then, and just I loved it so much more than I did basketball. And that's pretty much it. I wanted to stick with it. So in my sophomore year of high school, I ended up quitting basketball and just started to focus on
Oh,
just volleyball.
Hmm.
And rest is history. Here I am.
rest is
So
history.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Playing college volleyball for the University of Oregon.
yeah.
How is it? You're around volleyball. Before I get into talking about your uncle and your dad a little bit, how is it to be part of the women's team, to see Division I collegiate sports at that level, at that school, with the Nike money, because they give that to the women's volleyball team? How is that for you to be a part of that? Like to be able to
Good point.
practice with them? I think you get to play because I know managers that do. How is that? You get to compete against them and help them get better and do other things. Give us a little rundown of your day and what it's been like to do that.
New coach
Yeah,
as well,
so
right? New coach?
Yeah, new coach. So I was lucky to start at this past year. So I got to experience a little bit of Coach Matt and then now Coach Trent.
Hmm.
But I think the biggest thing for me is what I've noticed is um, how different the mindset is and how technical they are with every little thing. They'll sit down for film sessions all the time, every single day, talking about every little intricacy, and then that'll show up in the practice plan. It'll show up in the little shoulder movements on a pass, just everything. So that has been really great to help me with my own game. And yeah, I am a practice player along with some other club players. I think
Hmm.
there's two or three of us now. So that has been really great to see that whole aspect of it. It is a big time commitment. There's no pay or anything like that.
Yeah.
So this past year, I've been getting up at around like 6:30 in the morning, and then practices from 7:38 to around 10:10. So it's honestly been a really great opportunity, and I love to be a part of it. It's really fun, and it's really cool to, it's a privilege to be able to practice in Matthew Knight Arena, with the big lights and everything. There's no
Hmm.
fans, but it's still cool to be in that environment, especially as somebody that has never played at that kind of a level and it's been in club the entire time. It's kind of cool to be a part of that. Um, and the managers and the coaches and the girls, they're all really great. I haven't been able to meet the new team yet just because I'm not up at school yet, but I'll be going next week. But it is a really great opportunity. I get some merch as well, which is kind of like my pay, which is pretty
Sure.
great. So yeah, definitely shout out Nike for that. Um,
Will you
but
travel with
yeah.
them? Will you be at all the matches? I mean, because I know they already started. They just got bounced out of the top
Mhm.
25. But how does your role play with travel or even at the matches? Are you part of that? Are you not part of that?
hmm So I will at the home games we will meet up with them before to do serve and pass and things like that, like the little pre-practices before games.
Hmm.
We do not travel with them, but yeah, it's still great to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I think they just take we have a pretty big coaching staff, so they take all the coaches and then one of the managers that really does the whole like setup, takedown, managing the balls and everything like that. While me and some of my other guys are more practice players, where
Gotcha.
we're kind of just involved in, working with them to make each other better. So
Yeah.
Right.
What a
Cool.
fun
No, that's
experience.
great.
What a great
It's
school.
that, and you're
yeah,
right. The more you're around that top level coaching, it's just going to trickle down to what you guys do. Of course,
hmm
you can't spend hours on films and do analytics and all that kind of stuff, but just the little technical things that can elevate your guys' game is going to be huge for you. So
yeah,
you're doing a great job of taking advantage of that time
hmm
that you have with those coaches and players, to be quite honest, because they're Coley and Bear and I, we talk about all the time how the women's game is just being elevated, especially from last year. We just think it took off, and Coley's been
hmm
watching a ton lately, and he's just saying we all have to keep watching this. It's so good right now, and it's only going to get better.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and I mean,
It's
Oregon's always been great in every sport, and their women's volleyball program also does the same. And such a great conference you're in now. Not that the Pac-12 wasn't, but it's just such great volleyball, and the women's game has grown exponentially in a very short period of time. It's always grown and it's always been big. So everyone don't
Mhm.
get all upset, but it's like went from 0 to 100 real quick. Like I was just telling
yeah.
these guys, and we can talk about it at a different time, but you just turn on the TV now on a weekend and you can watch multiple women's college volleyball games on multiple channels, and it's not in
Hmm.
800 and 900 in the cable box. It's in single digits. And so it's been great. And so for you to be a part of that, like you said, helps you. So I have a question to go back to what Sully said. So you're there in in the practices, the games, all that stuff. You're learning. You're a sponge. You love the game. I've known that for a long time. You want to be an entrepreneur, so you're trying to gain all of that. How can you take what you learn in practice or some of the things back to kids that don't have a coach, but kind of want to be coached and find ways to win? How is that dynamic of you or anyone trying to tell someone what to do to be better without it causing a riff, so to speak?
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of the time, so our two VPs, me and one other guy, we're also practice players for the women's team. So we, this past year, have taken exact drills from the women's practice and then done it in ours. So us as, kind of VPs and presidents, we We create the practice schedule, and we'll go through the drills and what we need to work on as a program and then as our individual teams. Um, but I think a lot of it is just a lot of respect mutually between everybody. There's nobody that's, above another one. So
Mm.
sometimes it gets a little iffy with, guys maybe being a little too harsh on others, or, trying to tell them what to do. But I think a lot of the guys, they like having that, because a lot of us have had good coaches growing up, and
Yeah.
they understand that it's not a personal thing. They want you to get better, and everybody there, like I said, is paying their own money to be there, so
Mm-hmm.
they obviously want to get better as well. So I think just for that aspect, a lot of the people that I play with, they're very just open to feedback and criticism, and just really a want to get better.
So
That's
when you're at
great. Do
these
you ever get a
tournaments and
guest
stuff,
coach come in at Upper? Do you ever get like a guest coach? Sorry, Bear. Do you ever
No,
get like any guest coaches, like your uncle stepping in for a weekend to coach or anything like that to help out?
no, we do not get anybody to come in. Um, that would be great though. If anybody out there wants to come coach us for a week, we would love it. We cannot pay you, unfortunately, but
I don't think.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
hope
mean,
that.
that
You gotta imagine
even
there's
like some
gotta
of the
be.
other assistant coaches for the women's team won't come over and help with a practice or two, maybe once a
I
week.
mean, they especially right now, they're in season, so
Busy,
they are
man.
busy.
Yeah,
They have
Busy.
they're
yeah, they're
so
busy.
locked in,
That
and
makes sense.
Dylan, I can't
yeah,
imagine like women from the past or even guys from the past that are still around the area. There's got to be a couple that would come
yeah,
in and help you guys out. I mean,
hmm
yeah, I just think maybe get the word out, and they can
hmm
probably come in, once a week, like these guys
yeah,
said, and help you guys out. I mean, it's a
hmm
huge place, right? So and
yeah,
not everybody leaves to go back, quote unquote, home. They all stay there. So there's got to be somebody there.
I just
yeah.
think it would
I
be
think
cool to have that, just something different, and it doesn't even need to be
yeah,
weekly. I was just asking, like, like, oh, your uncle, if he
mhm,
hasn't been up
yeah,
there, let's go, Geet. Let's go up and visit him. Let's
Let's
get to a
go.
football
Like,
game.
what are you
Like,
doing?
like
Take
for an
care of your
example,
nephew.
he's been
Jeez.
around the game for a long time, and he's coached it
yeah,
too at every level. Like, he would be awesome.
mhm,
I mean, I'd love to
yeah,
do it with him and help. Like guys that played at
mhm,
levels or women that played at the level, and it's not about getting better or we don't need you. It's just like you said, just different voice, different sponge.
yeah.
So maybe that'll happen for you guys as you continue to grow it and keep moving on. How did you fare last year? How did Oregon Ducks men's club volleyball fare for the whole season and at nationals?
Yeah, so our green team, we played really well in our PIVA league. We won, I think, two or three tournaments. Um, so that was great for us. I would say the top two teams, probably, or top three teams in PIVA, are University of Oregon, and then you'll have University of Washington, Washington State, Oregon State, all these schools. Um, and then because of our good performance in our league, we were in the open division for nationals. I'm not exactly sure where we placed, but there was some great competition always at nationals. You'll see
Hmm.
guys that probably should be D1 are playing on these teams like at UCLA and all these schools, and so it's just really great to even be there and be competing at the highest level with these guys. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Just a side note, guys. It drives me nuts to hear Dylan say University of Oregon, University of Washington, Washington State is who we play. All these big schools that probably have 30 to 40 guys wanting to make this team. And we talk
Mhm.
about growing that back 12, growing that big. It's just absolutely, it's driving me nuts listening to you, Dylan. On a positive note, by the way, it's not a bad thing. But I'm just saying, those big schools and all the draw that the men's bring and the equipment is there. Like, it just drives me nuts that we can't grow it at that top level at the Big 12 and Pac 12 still. It's just, I mean, I don't know. It's Big 10. Sorry. It just drives me crazy.
Well,
Hearing where you're playing.
Yeah.
Ugh,
And who you're
Yeah.
playing
drives me
against, right? I
crazy.
mean, you said
Yeah.
this earlier, and I know your dad told me it's like it's not just Oregon. Like you're going to nationals. There's Michigan, there's
Yep.
Michigan State. There's Ohio. There's all these schools
Yeah.
that
Everybody.
could
Yeah.
easily have. Well, let me rephrase that. Easily, money should have Division I men's volleyball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would just create so much more opportunity. Yeah, you're damn good, and you could play Division I volleyball. Now you add Oregon and Washington and Michigan and Michigan State and Purdue and Iowa, all of them have men's volleyball at the Division I level. You're playing in an unbelievable conference, and deservedly so. So, we're just trying to plug it, not that we don't want to keep talking club. We're just trying to continue to grow the game. And by you playing club volleyball and for club men's volleyball in the NCAA to have a venue and an opportunity to do it, and as big as it is, it's outstanding that it's still going on. And we just got to keep continuing to try to grow it. Maybe a few of the schools have become D1 schools. Maybe they don't. But either way, driving at 4 a.m. in a van that doesn't smell too much from Moscow, Idaho, all the way back to Eugene, Oregon, are stories that you're going to remember when you're like us, when you're 50. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Very awesome. I mean, there's a lot of similarities in what every story you're talking about. I'm like, oop, that's a story. Oop, that's a story. Like you said, some people are hungover. We had an Olympian, Bob Samuelson, coming on talking about he had beers before he played us and they beat us. Like, it was just very, very similar stories that are going on, which is great. I love it. I mean, your culture's pretty close to what we went through back in the day and what your uncle went through and everything. So, Coley, you were going to talk about his uncle a little bit.
Yeah, so
that up right now?
You're a Laker fan like we all are, and I text your dad and your uncle quite a bit about it. Does people at your school and when you play volleyball in high school, do people know who your uncle is? Do you tell them who your uncle is? Does he just show up and some people know and some people don't?
Honestly, I think not a lot of people do. I wouldn't say I bring it up too often. It's not a normal topic of conversation that I bring up. But a lot of my close friends know.
Yeah.
And there's some guys that really do love volleyball, and they dive into the history of it, and they definitely know who he is. And so yeah.
How about
I would say that
you're in San Diego?
should know.
Yeah, they should know. But being a Laker fan, if you're watching Lakers, he's on there all the time. How was it? Growing up and with him being a college volleyball player and you aspiring to be a volleyball player, how did that go? Was he able to talk to you and help you through some of the journey of it, of learning the game when you started early? Your dad played as well. How was that, having Chris McGee teach you a little bit of volleyball besides trying to make you laugh at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's really a privilege to have him, as my uncle. And it was always great to have him come out to the games. He's just that kind of guy where he'll show up and people will just go up and talk to him, and he just knows everybody. He's just that guy. So it's definitely been cool to have that, especially him being a setter as well. That has been great. And I've been lucky enough to have some amazing coaches down here in San Diego as well that have really helped me out. So yeah.
So what I think we need to do is we need to get a big match in Oregon. I'm not sure who it is this spring for the men's club team. We need to have Chris McGee, who's an announcer. He's done a few things in his life. He's announced a couple games here or there. I think he should be up there and be on the bench. I think he should be up announcing the game, and then we'll all just come up to support. Yeah,
and get Bear on the bench, and CK and I will go up there.
That'd be great. I think it'd be great. Sorry, Sully, I cut you off. You were going to ask.
No. I was just saying Bear should be on the sidelines coaching. CK and I will go up there, and we'll get McGee you get your uncle on the PA there, and the place would be rocking.
Yeah, we would love
just point that out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
get a win.
Yeah, get a win. Just trying to continue to grow it. Being in Oregon, growing up surfing, how's the change for you to be from living down in San Diego, surfing, playing volleyball, that life, to moving to the Pacific Northwest where it rains a little bit? I love Oregon, but far different. You are close, not that close to the beach, but you can get there from where you're at. How's that change been for you from there to there?
It's definitely been a big change. Obviously, San Diego, it's 70 and sunny 95% of the year. So definitely going to Oregon, getting used to a lot of rain and some snow here and there, and just overall cold, cloudy weather. It's definitely been a big adjustment, I think. And my freshman year, it was a lot harder than it was this past year. But I've kind of grown to love it, and you kind of get used to it. And a lot of the time, the guys just don't care. We're, still playing volleyball outside if we can, if it's, 55 and cloudy, but it's not raining, like guys will be out on the beach courts playing. So it's great to have the whole volleyball aspect still there. I don't get to surf or anything like that, but, finding other hobbies and, just really connecting with people in my classes and just on campus, joining clubs. So that whole aspect has been really fun.
So Dylan, okay, so you're in your sophomore year, correct?
I'm going in my junior year.
Oh, you're going into your junior
Yeah,
year, so you're basically halfway through with college
yeah.
now. What's your plans afterwards? Are you going to still be able to be involved in volleyball at all? Are you going to stay
Yeah.
up there in Oregon? Are you going to come back down to San Diego? What's your plans? Because you got to start kind of thinking about that now. Do you have anything on the horizon?
Yeah, so as of right now, I definitely know that I don't want to live in Oregon for the rest of my life. So I probably
Spoiled.
will be
You're just
coming back
spoiled.
down to California, maybe not San Diego. We'll see where I end up. But I know that I want to be involved in volleyball for as long as I can, as long as my body allows. So, hopefully going to be playing on the beach as long as I can. Even I've heard there's like an adult league
Oh
where there'll
yeah,
be
Plenty.
like adult nationals and
plenty
things
of
like
them.
that I would love to be a part of. I know I want to do that, and I've talked to some of my club teammates, and they also want to do the same thing. So hopefully we'll be stay connected through that going forward in my life. But yeah, that's kind of my plan at the moment.
So let
How
me
about
take
with
that
your
further. So
degree?
yeah, degree. What are you going to do with that? What is there a certain business you want to start? I mean, what's your itch that you're kind of because you had to have some kind of itch, right, to go
Yeah.
into entrepreneurship. Any ideas? I know things can change, monthly on being an entrepreneur, but do you have any kind of sights what you want to do afterwards?
I think for me, I've always loved cooking, and I would love
Oh,
to maybe start a little food truck or a restaurant. That's kind of been in the back of my mind for a long time.
okay.
But also, seeing what the corporate world is like. I worked an internship for a supply chain software company last summer, and that was a great experience. Maybe
Okay.
even going into sales. So at the moment, I've kind of just thrown myself out there in different fields and seeing what sticks with me. So as of right now, there's no real rigid plan, but just trying to involve myself wherever I can and get experience, while I'm in college and surrounded by, professors and other people that are like-minded. Um, this is
Okay.
just what I want to be around. So
So what food? What
Good for
kind of
you.
food do you like?
maybe
Well, what
breakfast.
food would you like to prepare, and what
Mhm.
restaurants do you prefer to go to?
Okay. I really love breakfast. That's been a big thing for
Oh,
my family. We love doing just, on Christmas morning, we make this huge platter of different foods, like breakfast and brunch food. So probably that. I'm a big coffee lover as well.
okay.
So yeah, maybe diving into that. I've never been a barista or anything like that, but I
Right.
know I could learn. And my dad's a pretty good barista himself, so he could probably teach me a few things. So that would probably be where I would land.
Well, you could always go
Breakfast
back
food
and
truck.
work on the Marie Callender pies where your uncle used to sell,
Yeah,
and start that.
yeah.
At,
Always be a
bring
winner.
those back at some kind of a food truck, the
Yeah,
McGee pies, and just do all that.
yeah,
Um,
McGee
yeah.
pies.
I've got a couple
Breakfast and
questions for you. I'm
pies.
going to go two different ways. Yep, pies. One is,
Mhm.
give me or give us the toughest game you played in your collegiate career at Oregon, and the most funnest, my English from Cal State Northridge, match you ever played in. So the toughest, win or
Yeah.
lose, and the most fun you've ever had playing in a match
Most
when you played for
funnest.
Oregon in those two of those.
Okay. I would say probably the toughest was this past year. We played a tournament in Corvallis, Oregon, and we were playing against, it's one of the Canadian teams.
Mm.
I can't remember their names, but they are really good. They have some absolute studs on their team. And it was a grind. It was a three-set match and all the way to the end. And it was the championship match. And we ended up pulling it out. I think it was
Oh,
fifteen
nice.
thirteen. So
Oh,
um, just winning the first set, and then we got pretty handled the second set. So kind of being able to bring it in as a team and being like, this is it, guys. Like we need to find a way to bounce back from this. Really just leaning on each other, and being able to go out there and score 15 points. And that's hard to do, as you guys know.
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, so that was definitely the toughest. I would say the most fun. I honestly think it would be one that I didn't plan because I was hurt my freshman year at our nationals, and it was the final day, and we had lost the wrong game, and we weren't in contention for
Hmm.
anything. So we just went out there and we were like, let's just have fun. Let's just go out there, try some crazy stuff. Just running random combo plays,
Yeah,
slides,
yeah,
and
yeah.
all these
Yeah.
just throwing everything out there and just laughing, having a good time. Having some friendly banter across the net as well. Just that's a part of men's volleyball I've always loved is the bickering and the whole that whole
Trash
aspect of
talking.
it. And that's a big thing that we do at Oregon. And yeah, so that's just that was definitely the most fun, just being able to, sit back and watch our guys just, go out there and have an absolute blast and being a part of that. So
Who's better at trash talking? I know we know publicly your dad or your brother or your uncle when they get after with each other. I know Geeter gets all the pub and accolades because he's the one on the mic. But let's keep it real. Who when they get after each other, who wins?
it's the older brother for sure.
Of course it is, right? Matt McGee. Of course, Matt McGee wins.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's taken
Yeah.
down. That's awesome.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Hey, so with your guys, okay, you touched on it a little bit earlier about how everybody's pretty much respectful with each other. Everybody has to pay money. But like in these tournaments and stuff, like who decides who plays and who decides who doesn't play? I mean, I got to think that, sometimes you're going to bump heads on that thinking, hey, I had a great match last time, or do you just roll the dice, or is it like, how does all that work?
Yeah, so at the beginning of each year, we'll have two teams, and each team will vote for their team captains. So that doesn't have to be the presidents or vice presidents. It's, whoever the team votes. So typically there'll be one or two guys, and those are kind of the head guys of the team. They'll set the lineups every match. And yeah, it's just a part of the game. There's definitely guys that, think they deserve more playing time, and, it's just kind of who steps up, right? And we'll try and get everybody in, obviously, but we as a club, we want to be competitive. So we say it at the beginning of the year, every single year, nobody's guaranteed playing time. It's not rec ball or anything like that. It's high level competitive volleyball. So we're going to put the best guys out there and try and get a win. So sometimes that hurts some feelings, but that's how it is. So
So for your two teams at green and gold or A and B, is it a true, we're going to put our best up here and I don't want to say it like this, the best and the rest? Do you divide it up evenly? How do you pick both teams because you have 30 or 40 guys? How do you divide that up, and then they vote for the captains, and do you guys compete against each other all the time?
yeah, so it's an A and B team, right? So they'll be the best guys, and then the B team has been extremely competitive. We battle every single practice, and we'll get one court. So that's our practices, is we have one court, so we have to play together. So it's just constant competition with each other, making each other better. And, it goes back and forth. All of our guys are really, really talented. And it's not like there is obviously A and a B, but that doesn't necessarily mean that A always wins. The B team, we always are fighting with them, and we beat them in tournaments before. So it's really just kind of an iron sharpens iron type of thing.
And do you guys shuffle back and forth, or once you make the A team, you're on the A team for the rest of the year, or can you go up and down?
It stays, unless there's some injuries or anything like that. But a lot of the time, it's kind of hard to find guys during tryouts that are the specific position we want. So sometimes we'll have, a big thing for us is we've had a lack of middles.
Yeah.
So it's been, a lot of guys sometimes will just have to make transitions to play different positions. And it's kind of just, figuring out who fits where and, trying to put the best team out there.
So I'm looking at, it's at the NCVF. Is that who you guys play under?
Yeah, NCVF.
So guys, listen to this. So I just pulled up the top 25, right? Oregon is 26, 27, 28, 29th. So top 30. Good for you guys. Number 1, Ohio State, then Michigan State, Northeastern, UW-Madison, Cal Poly, Penn State, Notre Dame, Loyola, Virginia Tech. San Diego State is number 10, and Texas A&M, University of Virginia, Grand Canyon U, UC Berkeley, Maryland, UC Davis, North Carolina State, University of Illinois, Liberty U, University of Florida, number 20, Louisiana State, LSU, Missouri, Alabama, Louisville, and Colorado. That's the top 25. That's amazing to me. That is absolutely amazing to me.
Well,
Because
what's amazing?
Division One, you have a couple of Division One teams that have club teams that are competing in this. That's incredible.
Yeah, Ohio State was one of them. I mean, what it tells me though for you, Dylan, is what an awesome opportunity, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Shame on the NCAA for not adding these to men's volleyball, which all of us can talk forever. Your dad, you've been around the game for a long time, so you feel it too. But take that aside, how exciting. I mean, you get to play volleyball against all these awesome universities. You get to go to Centralia, Washington. By the way, anyone that's just a little bit up the coast from Olympia, which is the capital of Washington, so you can know where Centralia is. And then, Moscow, Idaho, you're going to these small places, but then you're going to nationals and you're playing Michigan, or you're playing Cal Poly, or you're playing these schools. Do you ever leave, I know you leave the state, but do you ever try to get to the East during the fall, or is that where all your money comes for the spring tournaments in those?
Mm-hmm. So we typically don't go east, but we do play a tournament every year. UC Davis hosts one down in Sacramento. So that's one that we've done for the past 2 years I've been there, which is really fun because we get to play extremely high level competition there. UC Davis is a great program. Cal Poly, all these teams go there to play. So we see a lot of the top teams, as you just mentioned, that we'll see at nationals. So it's always a good test for us to get outside of PIVA and see, what the competition is like. We definitely want to get to more tournaments, but again, it's just expensive.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough for us we kind of have to pick and choose what's going to be the most viable for us and the best option. So
unless Uncle Phil comes through after listening to our pod today, if he wants to come through and help out, I think you guys can probably go to most events. That should be okay for you. What would you like to see if you're a fan of volleyball and you played it, you're playing it in college? What would you want to see for club volleyball overall, for the masses to see, and what's next for the Oregon Ducks club volleyball team? Like, what I know you guys play in the fall. When's the next drive in the Vans is what I want to know.
I think I would love to see just a lot more promo for it, and a lot more even just side tournaments like I was mentioning earlier. Not all teams even get to go to nationals, so maybe even having like a side tournament for that, maybe another nationals, or finding bigger venues. I know that's pretty difficult a lot of the times, but that would be awesome. Maybe some it's just hard with the funds to help everybody out, because sometimes a lot of the teams can only send one out of their 2 or 3 teams that they have to go to nationals and to get that experience. For us, I think we do a preseason tournament in Corvallis towards the end of our fall term, so that's what's up next for us. But we get right into it when we go to school. Usually first week of school we have open gyms, and then tryouts are week 2 or 3. So we get right into it. And we just love it. So we want to start as early as possible and try and join as many tournaments and just get as much exposure as we can, as early as we can.
Awesome. I'm going to ask Bear a question here. This might, because it's going to turn into, do you know if junior colleges are allowed to play club college volleyball teams?
I'm pretty sure we're able to. I think in the off season we're allowed to play 2 to 3 tournaments, and it's our choice of what tournaments we want to play.
Okay. We're gonna start a set the pipe during the season. Tournament at Santiago Canyon College for a lot of the SoCal JC teams, and we're going to try to get some of the Pacific Northwest club teams. Uncle Geet, you'll be sponsoring it. Just want you to know we're going to be calling you for the bill to get the Ducks down here for that. Beardine's going to host the gym. You've been there. You and I have seen each other watching a couple women's and girls high school championships at Santiago Canyon College. But that's great that you guys have so many things going on. You have a lot to do. Fundraising. I know you said you guys pay for everything. Do you guys do fundraisers? Do you do the old car wash? Are you trying to do, grass volleyball tournaments that your uncle and I used to have to do? Or rephrase that, have to do. We did at Northridge to help fundraise. How do you guys, raise money?
Yeah, you got it right on the money. We try and do tournaments. This past year, we've sold we ordered some extra pairs of slunks, so we'll sell those to a lot of the rec guys in our community that, are fans and want to be on the team and things like that. They support us, and we'll try and partner with some food places. Like there's some near campus like Dave's Hot Chicken and Panda Express and places like that we'll do. We'll get like 20% of the proceeds.
Those proceeds go to you guys.
An hour or 2 or something like that. So we're still exploring options. We'll reach out to extended family members. We have like an email list that we do. But yeah, we try, and we're always trying to come up with new ideas and ways to make money, just so it's not fully a burden on us. So
Do you have any guys on your team that are in fraternities?
We have quite a few actually, and
Have they found a way to get the NIL from the fraternities to give to you guys on the club? Because that's one way. I mean, me and your uncle used to do this a lot, and we went to school at Northridge where not a lot of people cared, and we made people care. And so like you're in a situation that you're playing club volleyball where you care, we care, everyone that's in there, but everyone might not care, so to speak. Right. So like any way that you can find a way to help grow it. And I would try to tap into that, not just for the funds because, they do all those things, but they have great fundraisers. They give a lot of things back to the community. If you can find ways to tap into each fraternity, again, let's say you have 4 guys out of the 30 that are in 4 different fraternities, or that's 4 opportunities that you personally as the president could go talk to their president and maybe do a joint thing. Maybe have your guys coach their fraternity volleyball team that does the fraternity teams. Just offer things to help where maybe they could help you guys, help grow the game, help get people in the stands. Maybe there's a match that you guys
do you guys host tournaments? I'm going along with Coley. Do you guys host a tournament at your place?
No, not in Eugene. But we've been looked into it. It's just we have to rent out a gym for it. So
yeah, man, if you can pull that off, you can pull that off and get your fraternity houses to go and show up and just rock the house. I mean, you would be I'm not kidding. You would be the talk of the town. I know Oregon's huge in all the sport. I'm serious. Like all of a sudden, it's like, where's everybody? Oh yeah, they're at the men's club volleyball match against Oregon State and Washington. They came down. I'm telling you, that's what I mean. Coley talks about it. We did the same thing. We were at Long Beach State. We went to go talk to those sororities. We went to go talk to those fraternities. And then it was, well, where's the party after? But you got to go to the game first. And everybody showed up, and it was raging. It was loud, obnoxious. It was awesome for us. So, and if you guys can pull that off, I'm just tapping on Coley's line a little bit, but they'll show up and you will be the talk. Don't underestimate volleyball fans. Once they show up and watch it, they're going to be like, holy crap, we got to go to this again. If it's an annual thing, it'd be awesome.
There's always
and then the fraternities
coming on. Go ahead, Bear. No, it's all good.
No, go ahead, Bear.
There's the possibility if you guys are in Southern California, you guys could go on The Price is Right. Take everybody on The Price is Right.
That could be an option.
And when do you guys get up on stage and win some money that way? Maybe a car.
Yeah. It'd be amazing if you went on there and they 2 generations, a nephew got a chance to win that. That would be incredible. But I want to go back to Oregon and you and what Sully was saying, because I'm just, not just giving you ideas, but like I want to see volleyball grow. I haven't been around volleyball for quite a while, and I got back into it doing this podcast, and it's just been so fun for me. Being able to have, talk to your dad about volleyball and, Millie and, you here, you're playing college volleyball and we're having a chance to talk to you. I want to see video of a match at Oregon. I don't want to see Oregon having to go somewhere else. I want to see you guys play Oregon State, Washington State. Get the old Pac-12 from the Pacific Northwest. Get Utah, get 5 or 6 teams or 8 teams or whatever it is. And again, figure out you're an entrepreneur. You're pretty bright and you're way smarter than me. Tap into the fraternities, tap into the sororities. I mean, they're already doing stuff, but you got guys that are in it. It's not like you're just knocking on the door. Hey, talk to me. You got, teammates and people part of the program that are in that. Maybe it's just a small sliver from each one. That could be 100 people, right? That could be like, hey, we do this with the Boys and Girls Club, and by us donating this, they give us, I can rent the gym now. Just little things. So I would consider it. I think it would be great for you and for Oregon to host something like that. But regardless, it's ways to tap into the community and maybe ways to tap into some extra ideas of how to raise money, not to solicit money from them, but ways to co-work together as Oregon students, bettering the cause of Oregon athletics, because that's what it is. You're part of Oregon athletics.
Yeah. Right. Dylan, do you got social media presence? You have a website out there you want to post out there so we can put it in on our podcast and down below?
We just have an Instagram. It's UO Men's Club Volleyball.
Okay. Well, I got to make sure I tap on you.
We post some cool clips. We're trying to, make it a bigger thing this year with posting edits and things like that, and being more active. Anybody in the stands. I mean, I went to Lewis versus Long Beach State, and there were so many people with their cameras out, and then literally that night there was a ton of postings on certain plays and all that kind of stuff. All you need is a couple
girlfriend's out there to help you out, and off you go. But yeah, so
Yeah.
okay, so you're on Instagram. I want to tell the guys also in 2026, Dylan is correct. April 2nd through the 4th, their nationals is in Kansas City, Missouri. And just to get ahead of ourselves, in 2027, it's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, and 2028 back in Phoenix. But this year, in 2026, April 2nd to the 4th, it'll be in Kansas City, Missouri. Good stuff.
How exciting.
I'm not too far.
So exciting. I'm so fired up. And I'm going to be, I was getting play-by-plays last year, but I can't wait to tap into the feed and watch some matches, especially this. And, we'd like to have a few more club folks on here from different programs. So if there's friends of yours that play across the country and would love to come on and talk with us, our goal is to have fun, more so tell stories like the 4 a.m. getting in and don't get another ticket kind of stories. That's what really gets us excited to talk about that. Because let me tell you, me and your uncle and your dad too have some stories, and that's what makes this so great. But really about growing the game and finding ways to not just push the game out, but find the love of it. Like you just said, you guys do it for the love of it. You pay, you study, you take the time out of your family time, your friend time, your school time to drive 8 to 10 hours to play a volleyball match, to come home. That's passion. That's love for the game. And that itself should be celebrated. We should talk about it more. It's such a great game. And like you said, the culture of club volleyball is pretty rad, and more people should get the opportunity to see it, and be a part of it if they can and want to, because most universities, you says, have club volleyball. So, don't give up playing this game. It's too good. Do you guys at the club level, when the guys in the middle back, I'm being funny here, but do you guys set the pipe? But it's probably the bick. But which one is it?
Set the pick.
You do set the bick. It's okay. We're thinking about changing the name, but it just doesn't sound as cool.
Doesn't have the same ring.
It
Set
doesn't.
the lower pipe. Set the lower pipe.
Set the lower pipe. But if you could do us a favor, all your friends and everyone is, subscribe to YouTube and, get this out. And our goal again is to push and promote and love this sport that we all love. All 4 of us love this game. This game's done a lot for all 4 of us. And being able to let people know, whether you played at Long Beach State and won a national championship, whether you played at the Harvard of the West Coast like your uncle or myself at Cal State Northridge, or you're playing at the University of Oregon like you. We love the game. We all play it. We all work hard at it. And it's great to just let everyone know what an amazing game this truly is.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
I'm going to put it out there as much as I can. I'd love to love the game, and we'd love to see it grow.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Your story was unique on Set the Pipe, that's for sure. Somebody that's paying their way, like Coley says, got to talk about your major and the passion, and even helping out on the women's team. You're a unique interview for us. So we appreciate coming on Set the Pipe. This has been Dylan McGee. Pleasure, buddy. And we can't wait to see what happens next semester, and we'll follow you.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Dylan. Really do. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.